Okay, so we will continue our discussion as we speak about global strategies, no, and operating in the global environment. We'll talk about why businesses need to develop a mission, why businesses need to develop a strategy. So when we're talking about a mission, we're talking about, okay, how, right, or why we want to do certain things, okay? So where is the organization going, right? And when we talk about the strategy, right, we're now looking at, okay, how are we going to get there, right? What activities or what will define the organization, right, for it to survive? So we need to identify the mission, right? And of course, the mission is to satisfy the customer's needs and wants, right? And it tells us what is the purpose, right, for which we want to establish an organization, what is the purpose of existence for the organization, right? And so it creates these type of boundaries, no, where we can define what's the focus of the organization, right? We won't go outside the mission, right? We will concentrate in what is the purpose for the organization, right? What it will contribute to society, right? And all the activities in the organization will be geared towards that, okay? So a couple of examples of mission statements, right, is telling us, right, what it will focus, what's the rationale of the organization. A couple of examples, we have Merck's mission, right, is to provide society with superior products and services, innovations and solutions that improve the quality of life and satisfy customer needs, to provide employees with meaningful work and advancement opportunities, and investors with a superior rate of return. So here in this mission statement, we see how they identify, right, various stakeholders that are involved in or that will benefit, right, from Merck's operations, right? Their mission, right, as it's stated here, is to have superior products or services that the customers will be able to satisfy their own needs using these products and services, right? But it transcends more than the customer, right? It goes all the way to speak to the employees, to speak to about the investors, what is the rate of return that they will get, a superior rate of return, right? Employees will be satisfied with their work, with the opportunities that they will have to advance in their careers, okay? And so once a mission statement is something that has been established, right, then the various functional areas in organizations, well, they need to function to support this mission, right? They need to support the mission, right? So the marketing, the finance and accounting, and the production operations functional areas, all they need to coordinate their own activities to fulfill the mission, right? Here's another example of what PepsiCo's mission statement states. It says, our mission is to be the world's premier consumer products company focused on convenient foods and beverages. We seek to produce final rewards to investors as we provide opportunities for growth and enrichment to our employees, our business partners, and the communities in which we operate. And in everything we do, we strive for honesty, fairness, and integrity. Okay, and so they have specified in the mission, right, what it is that they're going to do, right, how they will accomplish that mission, right, talking about the various questions, right? How are they going to contribute to society? Well, they're going to contribute to the overall good of their employees, the overall good of their business partners, to the communities in which they operate, right, to their financial investors. So, and it gives a boundary here, right? And their focus is in foods and beverages. So PepsiCo, you will not see them going into aerospace technology, for example. You will not see them going into automotive and so forth, right? Because the mission has already defined what it is, right? Or where they are going, right? As a firm, as a company. Now, having the mission statement, right? We can then look at each of the functional areas, right? And each one of them would have their own mission statement, right? Like I said, they would have their own mission statement that will contribute to the overall mission statement that the firm has. Okay, so we need to look at examples of sample mission statements, right? So if in this example, the company mission statement is to manufacture and service an innovative, growing and profitable worldwide microwave communications business that exceeds our customers' expectations. The sample mission for the operations department here would be to produce products consistent with the company's mission as a worldwide low cost manufacturer, right? And you can think about, okay, what would be the marketing mission in this case, right? Well, it would be to try to get or grow the customer base for which the customers or for which the company would be able to provide these type of products and services. And so we see that it follows, right? Once we have identified the mission statement, we need to do some analysis, right? We need to do some analysis of where is the organization, where does it stand, right? And we want to do a SWOT analysis, right? And SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. SWOT analysis, right? And so we look at the internal strengths of the organization, right? We look at the internal weaknesses, right? And we look also at the external environment, right? What opportunities lie, what threats also externally lie, and after we do that SWOT analysis, then we're able to build our strategy, right? So what are strategies? Well, strategies require managers to develop action plans, right? So it's an action plan as to how are we going to basically achieve our mission? How are we going to do that? What's the plan to do that, right? That's strategy, right? And so each functional area, of course, would have their strategies of how they're contributing to the mission statement, right? And the overall idea of doing the SWOT analysis is to see how we can exploit these opportunities. How can we exploit the strengths, right, of what the company is good at, right? And then neutralize any threats and avoid any weaknesses, right? Or improve on the weaknesses that the firm may have, right? So 3 distinct competitive advantage strategies, right, that we're going to discuss, which are the major strategies, right, for competitive advantage, right, are differentiation, cost leadership, and response. Okay. And so firms may be able to compete in a combination of the 3, but for most part, they choose to differentiate, right? Something that would make them different than the competition, right? Maybe they're better at something, right? Maybe the competition, in the case of a restaurant, right, would be just a dining. They just purchase food, items, drinks, and so forth, right? But we saw how the Hard Rock Cafe, for example, they differentiated themselves, right? They provide an experience, right? And so that is a differentiation strategy there, right? Something different from the others, something that makes them distinct, right? Now, companies may decide to be a cost leader, right? So they may want to differentiate or compete based on cost, right? Now, it could be, right, that based on the prices that they have, right, the customer perceive a higher value, right? Cheaper prices, but they perceive higher value, right? Now they can achieve this in different ways, right? Maybe, for example, um, they may not include, right, different perks that come with the norm in a particular service or product, right? So by reducing their cost, then or their overhead, they can allow customers to pay less, right? Or it may be, right, that they compete as response, right? They're responding to a particular, right, or their strategy is to respond, right? And so, um, based on the fluctuations of the market, based on the volumes, right, of what is in demand, then they respond to that demand, right? For example, when the Hot Wheels toys were just coming out, right, their competitions tried to respond to them, right? Although that affected them because it's too late, right? Sometimes it's better to differentiate and try to improve on something, right? But it depends on how quick you're able to respond. That this will make that strategy to work perfectly, right? So how do we go about developing, right? Or how do firms go about developing their own strategies? Okay. Whether it's differentiation, whether it's cost leadership, or whether it's response. Okay. How do they go about doing it? Well, first, they need to analyze their environment. We said they need to do a SWOT analysis, right? And so they identify all their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? And they also need to understand their market. They need to understand their customers. They need to understand the industry that they're in, right? Their competitors. What other products may be available that can substitute their products, for example, right? So those are things that they're competing with, right? They, of course, as we have already identified, need to determine what is their mission statement, right? What they need to, or what statement sets them apart, right? That identifies them, what they will be doing, right? Or what it is that the firm is about, right? And of course, to build a competitive advantage, right? Whether it's going to be setting a lower price, whether it's going to be a design, right? Whether it's going to be being flexible, whether it's going to be a quick turnaround, quick delivery, right? Dependability, after sales service, right? Whatever is going to be their competitive advantage, right? That's how they're going to go about and set that strategy, right? And so once they have identified all these factors that they want to set in their organization, right? Then they can decide, okay, how are we going to integrate them into our operational management activities, right? How are we going to organize our staff? How are we going to be able to accommodate the various activities, right? And make the appropriate decisions. Remember, we spoke about 10 decisions, right? How are they going to do that to be able to have a working strategy, right? And implementing that strategy, okay? When it comes to the quality, when it comes to the processes, when it comes to the location, when it comes to HR, when it comes to the layouts, right? When it comes to the product itself, right? When it comes to the supply chain, when inventory control, scheduling, maintenance, right? All those decisions, right, would be based on whatever they decide to be the strategy of choice. Okay.